So today's going to be slightly different. We are doing some trials adventures today. I don't know a lot about trials bikes, but I'm about to find out a whole great big deal today with these guys. This is Bilpin Motor Adventures, hosted by Dave, and we can see we've got a nice little seating area for a bit of coffee, and we've got a whole assortment of Shercos. I do like the one with the gold rims, look at that. And well, you'll see it later on today, but there's a whole array of assortment of courses over there and across the paddock, and yeah, watch this. So what is the value of learning trials bike techniques? Well, trials bikes are all about control, balance and accuracy. A sport where 2 inches room for error is considered generous. The best thing about learning these skills is that there are a lot of drills in finding a simple solution to a difficult line. And on trials bikes, this is at a speed where you have time to really process this information, unlike faster, bigger, heavier bikes. These are the type of skills you can then transfer to adventure riding or enduro riding. The result is that you'll be handling difficult terrain safely, but also conserving energy, allowing for a more enjoyable ride. It can also help keep your adventures to schedule, as difficult terrain no longer feels difficult, as you have the tools and the know-how to tackle the challenges and detours kept to a minimum. Enduro champion Billy Bolt came from a trials background, and you can see just how effective it has transferred over to his enduro dominance.
In general, the base it gives you is just massive to kind of go. It's kind of whatever route you like, just as a throttle control, clutch control, weight in the foot pegs, and understanding about the balance of a bike, and even just kind of like the lean angles and how the tires work. Just a lot of the physics, I would say. You just pick up so much, and also reading the terrain and understanding ground and grip levels and stuff like that.
Teaching us today would be Disco Dave, otherwise known as Dave Wilson. He's been around professionally for over 30 years and works with adventure riders, professional enduro riders, and obviously trials riders. If you hear the name Disco Dave, and you will if you live in Australia, this is the man they are talking about. He's worked with many Australian and international professionals and has 1 or 2 tales to tell during the rest periods when your hamstrings need cooling down between exercises on the bike. He caters beginners to advanced and has a brilliantly laid out facility to target the weak points you really want to address on the day. To give you an idea of just how good this facility is, as my video is sure not to do it justice, Sherco and other brands have used this facility for bike launches during press release. Alex got the bike with the gold rims, so I'm slightly jealous. He's doing the figure of 8 exercise, and it's a lot harder than it looks. This is a very interesting experience. We're just trying to learn the bikes, and I'm doing front skids. Whoa! Knocked it down without taking off the throttle. So the first part of the day has really been getting used to riding a trials bike, because if you've never ridden one before, there is a lot to get used to. You probably noticed that there isn't a seat, and that the gear lever is so far away from the foot peg, by design by the way, that you can't knock it out of gear when you're doing something technical, that it's very easy to miss if you're not used to having it. And then obviously getting used to the weight and the handling and the steering angle. Check out this steering lock. It goes in line with the frame. They turn so rapidly. So first part of the day, getting used to those. Really fun part of the day. But some other things you should probably know when you visit Bilpin Trials is that in here we've got an assortment of gear if you're not sure if you bought the right equipment or not, or if you just don't own the equipment and you want to give it a go. You can rent the bike and rent the gear, so pretty much just turn up and ride some motorbikes for the day. Obviously you have a shower, bathroom, and then over here we have a great big bus. And in this bus, if you don't fancy going home after the barbecue, there's a nice little place for you and some friends to stay for the night. You can see there's some beds, some towels, some soap, and even a DVD player at the front of the bus. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. It's not just a ride some obstacles day and brush up on some skills day. There's a lot more going on than that afterwards as well. So that's really awesome. The next part of the day really goes back to the basics that we started off with, but just moving it up a notch into some more technical maneuvers. The next part will be us drilling out some endos and then bringing the handlebars to the hip to practice a weightless front wheel so that we can practice getting it over some obstacles. Once we've proven to Dave that we've got enough bike control that we're not going to destroy his property, he moves us on into the more interesting complex where obstacles await us aplenty. The obstacles Disco Dave had us doing were really to practice balance and control of the bike, but without power. Quite often we wouldn't be using the clutch, we wouldn't be using the power, we wouldn't be using the brakes. We would just be approaching these obstacles with just technique, and the first thing that you want to do when getting over an obstacle is get the front back down to the ground as quickly as possible so that you have regained control of the bike after letting the wheel leave the ground, so that you can steer the bike straight after an obstacle, and that is the reason why very little power can be seen used in this video. After playing with the level 4 obstacles during that part of the day, it was time for Disco Dave to show us around the other part of his property. There's this huge valley or gully that traverses all the way down into a little creek section and then goes all the way up again, halfway up a mountain. It has some waterfalls, some big rocks, and it was time for him to show us all of that and have a little play and apply what we learned on some natural terrain. traversing through Dave's wonderful property, he starts leading us downhill, pretty steep downhill nevertheless, and I was kind of struggling with the bike as it's a little bit alien to me, but got to the bottom and I was thinking, man, that was some hard work. Obviously, the next part was ready. He did a 180 and showed us how to get back up it again.
Easy. Easy.
Oh, what?
Go on, Jeffro.
I don't know anymore. Being slightly competitive, I must admit, I saw Jeffro was struggling on the last step, and so I knew I had to give it a go. My first attempt wasn't so great. Second time lucky, right? I didn't come all this way not to do this. Not now. And there we have it. An amazing day, an amazing experience, an amazing teacher, and amazing friends. My channel is called Pommy Biker, and I've done road riding, superbike school, dirt, adventure, enduro, and now I can finally add trials onto that list. I'll probably have to visit a few more times before I can call myself a trials rider, as I feel I only scratched the surface of what can be learnt here. But take a look for yourself and give it a go. You will not regret it if you have any love for the sport at all.